Good evening, everyone. Everyone can take a seat. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Haven't grabbed pizza yet? Make sure you grab some pizza. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Krahulik-Knapp, and I am the Director of Transportation for Allentown School District. I'd like to welcome you tonight to the Transportation Community Forum. Tonight, you're going to learn about a lot of what makes the wheels on the bus go round and round. We're going to start with messages from STA, some new features on the bus. Then we're going to kind of go into what we currently look like as a district for transportation. Then we're going to talk about what's coming new for 24-25. And then we're going to go into what our future initiatives are for transportation, the big picture in where we'd like to see transportation go. But first, everyone should have received when they came in a little baggie. Can I borrow yours for a second? Little baggie. Okay. On the left-hand side, you see all the pieces. Okay? So what we like to do for our district meetings is do a community builder. So you're going to work as a group, a pair, and you're going to build the bus so it looks like the right-hand side. And I'll tell you when to go, and the first 5 get a special prize. Okay? Has everybody got their stuff out of the bag and ready to go? Oh, come on. You guys ready? You ready? Okay. Ready? Go. There is a hint. You should have 2 people to build it. It's the easiest to use 2. They stick, but just a little bit. You can't move it around too much, otherwise it comes apart. Number 1. 4 more. There you go. Someone back here. They were next. They were next. One thing you gotta fix. Look at the picture. You gotta fix it just a little bit too. Oh, you got it. There you go. Awesome. Let me grab it back. You can't give up. No giving up in bus driving. Come on. Hold on. This one was first. Oh, this one was. This one. Nope. Nope. Look at the picture. Yep. One more. Oh. There you go. There you go. All 5. Keep trying though. So what'd you guys think about building a bus? It's hard, isn't it? A lot of flat noses, what we call the flat noses here. You guys had to bend and fold the hood of the bus so that it went like that in the picture. You got the concept, though. Before we get into the presentation tonight, I am excited to introduce an amazing student performance from William Allen High School who played Dorothy from The Wiz, who will share her gifts with us. Michaela Hamilton Ruiz.
Suddenly the rain
give it up for Nikayla one more time. Come on. Going to introduce Deputy Superintendent Jen Ramos.
Hi, everyone. I'm not on the agenda, and I'm talking slow because I'm hoping Dr. Burks is going to make a grand entrance through the back door because she had a meeting before this and it went over slightly. So I just want to welcome you on behalf of Dr. Burks and make sure that I introduce some special people in the room. We have one of our board of directors, Miss LaTarsha Brown, is here up front. We also have a parent and a Lehigh County Commissioner here with us, Ms. Shayla Alvarado. Hi, Ms. Alvarado. And then finally, if you're a parent or a student, would you raise your hand? Thank you for coming. This is the first transportation forum that the district's ever held, at least that I'm aware of. We're super excited tonight. We have our friends from STA here. As you know, the district is embarking on a new partnership. STA will be our transportation provider beginning, I guess, July 1, but maybe a little earlier for a summer program. If you're here from STA, could you raise your hand? And I think they have little gifts for us on tables and in the back. There's all sorts of buses. Out front, you probably saw a brand new school bus. That's our bus, I think. Is that our bus? Our bus will look like that because our bus will be better than that. But the best thing about our bus is it's going to say Allentown School District on the side of the bus. And we've never had that before. And I'd also like to thank Dr. McCullough. Yeah, he's shaking his head no, but Dr. McCullough has been a support to the district as we've embarked on a lot of changes in transportation and in some other areas. So if you wouldn't mind giving him a little round of applause. Thank you, Dr. McCullough. And so I know Dr. Burks is going to come in as soon as I put the microphone down, but with that, I think somebody else is up to start the presentation and perhaps introduce some more staff. Am I right, Mr. Krahulik-Knapp? Okay. Oh, you don't need that.
Looking at the door. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Maybe. There we go. Don't mind the picture. It's a bad picture. My name is Andrew Krahulik-Knapp. As I said, I am the Director of Transportation for Allentown School District. I have been in the busing industry since 2007. I was born and raised in Chicago, so I moved to Pennsylvania 2011, summer of 2011. And then I've worked my way through, started as a bus driver. So I know what it's like 4 years to be behind the wheel of a bus. Then I went into safety. Then I became a manager. And now I became a director of transportation. So I do have quite the background. You also see Tina Hemphill up there. Tina is the transportation manager. Would you at least stand up? Tina has been in the business for 35 years. So between the two of us, we roughly have 50 years of experience. So you have a lot of knowledge coming with this team. We're very excited to be here. And lastly, Wayne. Dr. Wayne McCullough has really helped me grow in this position, has really given me the tools to be able to succeed. I make him laugh. He tells me about farm animals, and we're good. Like, it's fun. But he has been a joy to work with, very knowledgeable. So, Dr. Wayne McCullough.
Thank you, Andrew. Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see you, and thank you for your interest in transportation. I do want to say this. First of all, I think Jen said she found this picture. It's 20 years ago and 30 pounds lighter, so I apologize that it doesn't accurately represent the person you're seeing here. I have been involved in school business and transportation for almost 40 years, and the only reason I mentioned that, and I mentioned this at the school board meeting, the team that is here in Allentown with Andrew and Tina, and now Matt and Jason and folks from STA, is a tremendously energetic, bright, thoughtful, and serving team. And their ability is not only from a technical standpoint, and transportation is incredibly technical. You change one bus stop and all of a sudden you impact 30 vehicles sometimes. There's a lot that goes into it. They have that technical expertise and experience to be highly successful. But most importantly, they also have the unique quality to serve people and to serve our children. And I am convinced that they will be highly successful in serving this community, the community of Allentown, which is a wonderful community. So thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the kind words, but we look forward to serving you and sharing information this evening. Thank you.
So before we get to the presentation, I'd like to introduce our superintendent and CEO, Dr. Carol Burks. Dr. Burks has been with us a little over a year and has instilled in her team a vision of making Allentown one of the most inspiring districts in PA. She ensures every decision we make is student-centered because the children of Allentown deserve to be first. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Carol Burks.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, and as with this, my role as superintendent, I had a few events at the same time, so I apologize I wasn't here, but this is a very important event this evening, and I'm so happy to see so many families out tonight, as well as our collective community. So give yourselves a round of applause, because it's raining, and usually people like to stay home when it's raining. I want to thank Miss LaTarsha Brown, who's here, who is one of our school board directors. So can you just please give her a round of applause? Wait a minute, this is one of my bosses, so please give her a round of applause. Please. Okay. So tonight, and I'm sure my team said a little bit about this, but we're coming together tonight to talk about One Allentown. This is One Allentown. And as a community, in our internal learning community, we have our chant, Allentown #1, students first, despite what school you attend. So the district's traditional public schools, our families who are from our charter schools, our parochial schools, our non-public schools, all that, we are one community. And as one community, we want to create more efficiencies so that we can serve all of our children. Everybody with me? All of our children. And so we want to share with you, so you can hear from us directly, some of the changes that we are making to expand our offerings. We want to thank our friends from STA. Let's give them a round of applause. We appreciate you and your partnership, and we're excited about, we have one of our theme songs is Ain't No Stopping Us Now, We're on the Move. We're looking forward for those buses to say Allentown School District. This is Allentown, one community. This is Allentown, one community. Nobody's clapping for that. This is one community. So we're going to give you some updates so you don't have to get your intel from Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. You're going to get directly from us everything that's going to happen, as well as we will answer the questions that you have. So I want to thank you tonight. I'll come back and we'll do a recap. Talk about what we learned, because with any good teacher, we initiate the lesson and then we close the lesson for my educators to make sure there's collective understanding. Please feel free to ask questions. And I just for a show of hands, how many people are here who are families? You are either mother, father, abuelo, abuela, titi, all those things. Raise your hand. Okay, let's give our families a round of applause. I want to thank you for being in our community because of you. I mean, the last meeting that I went to was I was talking about tax revenue, and that's why I was running late. And because you pay your taxes, we're able to fund all these efforts, so we thank you. How about educators? All the educators in the room, please give them a round of applause. And if you work in our operations area, transportation, custodial, all that, you are an educator if you work in service to the children of Allentown. So raise your hands. Thank you so much. So and most importantly, all our sensational, creative, talented, gifted, handsome, beautiful children. Let's give them a round of applause. Woo! So thank you very much. So we're going to, Mr. Kahulahek Knapp is going to come back and give you an overview of our presentation for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Burks. Up next, I would like to introduce STI. So, Matt Wright is the general manager for our region. He's the Northeast region, and he would come up and give the presentation. I'll click. I'll click.
All right. We on yet? All right, let's try this one. All right. Well, good evening, and thank you for the invitation to be here this evening. We are super excited. My name is Matt Wright with STA, Student Transportation of America, and we are super excited to be your next school bus transportation provider. And no, that bus that's out front is not your bus, but it's interesting that Andrew decided to start this evening with the Build a Bus competition here, because as we speak right now at factories across the country, the buses that are going to be coming to you, many of them anyway, are being built themselves. So you will have buses that will be coming to you. And then, yes, just as Dr. Burke said, I think that it is a great idea. The one Allentown, your buses will say Allentown School District on the side, and that's going to be great because when your sports teams and when your athletic events are taking place and you take those trips on the road, it's going to be like a giant rolling billboard, and everybody is going to know that Allentown is actually rolling into town. We are a company of 13,610 buses as of today, operating in 395 different, we have 395 different contracts across the United States and Canada. 25 of those locations are in Pennsylvania. That includes Allentown with 34 customers. And those are school districts and intermediate units, including Allentown. I'd like to take just a few minutes and go through just a couple of slides here with you, and then we'll go back to Andrew and he can talk about the rest of the transportation program that he's putting together for Allentown. Remember that this is a group effort. Andrew and team at your school district will be leading the whole show, and my company and the folks that are here with me today will be the ones who will be providing those buses and implementing that service for you. The cycle of success starts with treating employees well. And I always say in business, in any business, whether it's transportation or wherever you're at, if you stay close to your customer, that's you, and you treat your people well, that's the bus drivers, and I met about 140 really great people last week, by the way, too. You take care of those people, everything else will fall into place. We do this by fostering a safety-driven culture, and safety is job number one. We're not transporting packages. We are taking everyone's most precious cargo to and from school and everywhere that they need to be every day, and we take that job very seriously. Throughout the year, we promote and participate in a number of different safety programs, including anti-bullying awareness, National School Bus Safety Week, and much more. School bus safety activities. School bus, whose job is safety? It's everybody's, right? From my role in the company to Andrew, to Tina, to Jason. Jason here, will be the terminal manager. He will run the day-to-day operation for our company in Allentown. He is local. He's from the community. And Jason has been involved in school transportation for some time now. Student Transportation of America and our entire family of companies is dedicated to the health and safety of students who depend on us to safely get to and from school. And to support our young and returning passengers, we offer a variety of activities to help students feel comfortable and be familiar with the school bus, their first and last classroom of the day. And that's something about we realize with school bus drivers, oftentimes our folks are the first ones that your children see every day. Driver recruitment and retention, probably one of the most important things. Again, it goes back to staying close to the customer, that's you, and treating your people well, that's the bus drivers. We need people. We always need people. We need people to get the job done. We need people that care for children and want to take care of them every day, getting them to and from school. Our team in the back, we have Mike and we have Marlene. They are actually here today, and if anybody has any interest or even any questions about being a school bus driver, they are here to talk to you just for that reason. Don't be afraid to approach them and just have that discussion. You might actually find out that that's something that you would be interested in doing. Driver recruitment and retention is the forefront of any successful school bus operation. We always need people, and we are always looking for new folks to join us. Some of the recruiting efforts that we do, and if you haven't seen, you will start to see that more and more as time goes on, but you'll see, you'll hear radio ads, television, billboards, newspaper, mailers. You'll see yard signs start to show up. But the best thing that we can do is a referral program. There is no better way of getting people for us than other people telling other people about the job. And so we try to reward those folks who work with us and work for us by bringing in new folks to join us. Retention is also a key to keeping a strong, unified group of drivers here for Allentown and all the districts that we serve. Referral programs work best, when we have a group of people who are satisfied with the work that they do and the environment that they do it, and they want to stay. The screening and hiring process for those who may be interested, and if you are interested, Mike and Marlene at the back can tell you a lot more about this. Apply through STA's applicant tracking system. Schedule an interview at the terminal, which we are working on. We will have a new facility at 925 North Godfrey Street. A serious remodel and construction is going to start taking place there soon. And the contractors are telling me that it will be done by August. One way or another, we will operate those buses and we will run summer school. So schedule an interview with STA, complete a background check, drug test and physical, and then start the classroom and behind the wheel training. We are committed to the communities that we serve. We don't just want to be another one of the yellow school bus companies, right? We want to actually be part of the community and participate in the community. And we believe that there's more to being a best-in-class transportation provider than simply, promising safe, reliable service, which, of course, safety is job number one. We have more than 23,500 members operating those almost 14,000 vehicles that we operate in North America every day. Drivers, dispatchers, mechanics, safety team members, and many others play a unique and positive role in the lives of the students that we transport. And we are committed to being active in communities, from fundraisers, donating to charities, supporting causes, local organizations that our employees are passionate about, and we will participate in your community. Some of the things that our folks have done, you know, from the Stuff the Bus programs around the holidays, you know, collecting canned goods for food pantries, filling transportation needs for homeless veterans, you know, holiday stockings for military families and loved ones serving overseas. Our folks really get into this, and I think that you would be impressed with the passion that they show for your children and the communities that they're working in. And one of the reasons that they do that is because the folks that are operating these buses and these vans every day are from your community. We established the Wall of Fame in 2012 to honor extraordinary actions of STA employees who go above and beyond. They take extra steps to excel in their role and help others in need and make a positive impact on the lives of the students who depend on them each day. And those folks have gotten to go to we've taken them to some really nice places. You know, we have an office at Daniel Island, North Carolina, for example, and they get a trip, a week trip, and recognized by our company for their efforts. So that's a little bit in a nutshell. I mean, as we go on, we will get to know a lot more of you, about your community. We really look forward to it. I just want to say thank you to the Allentown School District and this community for letting us be part of who you are, part of what you do, and we look forward to many years of being able to provide transportation service for the Allentown School District.
So I get questions all the time. What do you have to do to be a school bus driver? So I'm going to kind of lay it out really quickly so everyone understands. When we talk about a national bus driver shortage, sometimes they say, well, just start hiring people. But it isn't like that. So to be a bus driver, a brand new bus driver for STA, right? So you're going to do the application. You're going to do the background checks. So your child abuse, your criminal, your driving record, all that stuff, they have to process all that. Then through STA, you go through 29 and a half hours of classroom training, which prepares you to take your first 4 permit tests down at the DMV, which is your CDL, your passenger, your air brake, and your school bus. After you come back and with your permit, you go through at least 18 hours behind the wheel, okay? Put you in different situations, different roads, alleys, like everything. They go through everything. Then you have a final evaluation, and then if you pass all that, then you go on to your CDL road test, which is about 3 hours. And then if you pass that, then you become a licensed school bus driver. But wait, you have to go through fleet training because every bus is just a little different. So you have to learn how to operate all the different types of buses. So it's a long process. It's a lot of work, but it can be done, okay? The trainers that STA has are phenomenal at getting people through the system, hand in hand, working with people. But again, when you talk about the national shortage, sometimes this is why people don't want to do it, and this is very doable, okay? So if you know anybody who's interested, please go back to the back and have them fill out the paperwork. So our buses are going to come with many new safety features, okay? Big buses and mini buses, all buses will be equipped with a 4-camera system, okay? So you'll have one facing out the front, one facing to the cabin to the kids, one on the driver facing down to the stairwell, and one in the back of the bus facing forward. Okay, so there's 4 cameras. I make the joke that nothing can get away in the last seat anymore in the back of the bus, so, you know, we can see it all now. Our vans will be equipped with 1 camera, but 2 different angles, one out the front and one on the cabin. Does anyone know why it's important to have a camera that faces out the front? Anyone? What? Accidents. We can see, like if there's an accident, we can review that footage pretty quickly to find out who's at fault, anything like that. If a student is hit by a vehicle, that can come into play very quickly for us to take that video evidence, give it to the police, okay? So I like having the cameras out the front. They're very, very useful. All vehicles designated for special needs routes will be equipped with air conditioning and 3-point seat belts. All buses will be equipped with an intercom system so the driver can effectively communicate with the students. So you won't hear the bus driver screaming all the time at the kids. They'll have the microphone. We just need to make sure that it's turned down a little bit so it doesn't sound like they're screaming at them all the time. All buses will be equipped with a strobe light for improved visibility. And again, all vehicles will display the words Allentown School District on the side of the vehicles. So now we're going to get into the current transportation system. We transport, First Student transports 2,500 Allentown School District students, 2,800 charter school students, 160 non-public students, and 1,200 special needs students. First Alt was brought in of January of 2023 to help with the homeless and foster students whose school students whose school placement is out of the Lehigh County. So we have some schools that go down towards Philadelphia. We have some schools up north towards the Wilkes-Barre area. The First Alt is the ones that are doing it. It's kind of like, I will say, a ride-share program, but the drivers are fully vetted, the cars are fully vetted. We get all that information, and the drivers have to be cleared from the district before they can start doing that. Lanta, approximately 1,900 students, Allentown School District secondary students use Lanta each day. So for a total run, First Student is 119 routes and First Alt is 48 routes. So back in the fall, we asked Edulog, who is the current software provider for First Student, but they also have a subsidiary where they'll do independent studies. So they took our data and they started looking at the routes, seeing what was going on, how things can work better. And there were some key points that came out. Allentown School District operates a complex routing model that is under stress. We are known as a walking district, but we are currently providing a significant level of transportation. Adding or changing our current model is not a straightforward approach, and any change in that program should be implemented over time in order to carefully study the impact of routes. Currently, most runs do not have enough travel time built in, which is why we are having late buses. While I wish routing was an exact science, so if I say your bus is going to be there at 7 o'clock, I really wish I could make it an exact science and every day that bus will show up at 7 o'clock. It will not happen, no matter what I wish I could do. So we try to ask for a window of 5 minutes before and 10 minutes after that pickup time that we tell you. And that's due to traffic. If there's an issue at a stop with a student, if we have a disciplined issue that we need to deal with on the bus, that we have to pull over a few minutes. So that's why we ask for that window. So again, I wish I could say 7 o'clock every day, but it's just not feasible with the traffic that we have going on in Allentown. While we do try to make it as close as possible, we do try to reduce speeds on the mapping system at certain points of the day. It's never going to be 100% accurate.
Thank you, Andrew. Isn't it nice to see Andrew's passion that he has for transporting our children? That makes me smile. Thank you, Andrew. So Andrew asked if I would describe a little bit about subsidy that the district receives from the state to provide student transportation. So if you look at student transportation, there's the cost that the school district must encumber to provide transportation for the children, but the state does subsidize the school district partially for providing transportation services to our children. And I mention that because I'm going to explain to you very briefly one of the most complicated subsidy formulas that the Pennsylvania Department of Education has ever developed. And I don't expect that you'll leave here knowing anything about it other than one thing, and that is this. First of all, when routes are built, when Andrew and Tina worked with Jason and his team to develop the routes that our children will use next year, it is one primary function to always keep in mind, and that is safety of the children. You'll hear a lot about that. There is no route, no stop, nothing done, actually every request for new stops without first safety being the highest consideration. Now, when you see the routes, you'll sometimes say, gosh, that bus doesn't look full, or that bus is running a couple minutes late, like Andrew said. And I just want to briefly explain the subsidy, because I think having a brief understanding of the subsidy may also help you understand what goes on in the routing process. So here's example number one. So you got to really pay attention to this. So example number one has a bus that is 10 years old that is on the road. It has a seating capacity of 72 students, which is a normal bus. We have some that seat 74, some that seat 78. There are 30 students assigned to that bus. This is example A. The bus is run for 180 school days. It has 10 miles that it goes with students, and it has 15 miles it goes without. Everybody have that memorized? That bus will generate a subsidy of $20,900 from the state. Okay? The bus costs approximately $75,000 to $78,000 to run for a year. So less than 50%, but nonetheless important revenue that allows us to do good programs for our children in our schools. Here's another bus, brand new bus, like Mr. Wright here talked about bringing in. So a bus that's only 1 year old, still has the same seating capacity of 72 students. This time, instead of 30 students assigned, the school district has 60 children assigned to that bus. If you seat 2 students to a seat, the capacity of this bus would be 48 children. Sometimes there are more than 2 elementary children assigned to a seat, knowing that not all of them are on the bus every day. 65 on this bus, you got it? The bus is still used for 180 days. This time, however, because some of the new features and new scheduling that Andrew's going to talk about later, we can use the bus for 2 purposes: to pick up elementary children and secondary children on 2 different runs. It can go pick up secondary children first, drop them off at school, go back out, pick up elementary children, bring them to school. It's called a double run in bus. So because of that, the bus now goes 25 miles with students and 25 miles without students. Do you remember the subsidy that was generated on the first bus was $20,900. This bus now generates a subsidy of $49,048. So if you do that for 20 vehicles, you're talking an additional subsidy of well over $500,000. And again, not the primary reason of how you route vehicles, but probably the stakes are high enough you want to consider it, right? Of how we utilize the buses, the age of the vehicles, the number of children assigned to vehicles, the number of runs each bus can do to increase mileage. because that money, that revenue, then can be used for very, very important programs in our schools for our children to improve their educational programs and their activities that they participate in. Very important subsidy. I mentioned that this year we're able to work to increase subsidy for this current year by over $700,000. Again, which is significant revenue that can be used. And we expect by bringing routing in-house and working day to day with the expertise of Ms. Tina and Mr. Andrew to be able to increase that subsidy and well. In fact, in the last 2 years, we're well over $1.2 million of generating that subsidy. More than you ever wanted to know about subsidy. So if Andrew needs help routing, you guys ready to help out, right? Also want to share with you that we currently are providing transportation services for over 380 children that are considered homeless through the McKinley-Vento Act. Very important service for children, as Dr. Burke said, one Allentown, that we service all children. Sometimes these children are considered homeless through the act because they are displaced out of their current school district and they're now in Allentown, or vice versa. They are out of Allentown staying with a relative or family or in another location. And we provide that service of transportation to them. A very, very important part of the transportation program is to serve these children. One of the reasons that we have this slide here, in addition to sharing with that to you, is we use a contractor, First Alt, to provide these services from time to time, and often it really is a automobile, a van, a service that's providing transportation often for one child. Sometimes we can pair them up with other children in the area attending other school districts. So in addition to STA, we also use a company called First Alt to provide that transportation for homeless and then often foster care children as well who have those services and need those services. The one thing I did want to share that Andrew mentioned earlier, and I think this is really important. Andrew shared with you in an earlier slide the number of children that we currently transport using different programs. One of those programs is using Lanta as a public transportation program. And I mentioned this, we've done this with the Allentown School District children, with our children, for the last 2 years. And it has been highly successful. It's proven to be a safe means of transportation. It's improved to include and provide some additional flexibility for our families. I'll give you one example because I had a family member talk to me about this last year. Was they stayed for after-school activities, and before they didn't have a way to be transported home. Students, secondary students who are using this service now can catch the next Lanta bus to provide that service for them. It's been safe, our highest priority, right? It's been effective and meet the needs and extend the needs. And Andrew will share soon when he shares some of the additional programs for next year, that we are very pleased that we've been able to work with Lanta, a partner of ours, just like STA is a partner of ours, to extend that service next year as well to other children, our children. Again, it's proven to be highly effective. Our feedback has been outstanding with that program for a lot of reasons. Safety, efficiency. I mentioned subsidy. This is not the reason you do it, but from a subsidy standpoint, the second vehicle I gave you, compared to the cost, the subsidy was over 50% of the cost. Not 100%, however. The formula that the state uses to reimburse school districts for use of public transportation is 100%. So for every dollar we, our community, all of us, spend to provide transportation in the form of public transportation to our children, the state reimburses that dollar for dollar. Isn't that a wonderful thing? And part of that is the recognition of the effectiveness of it as well. Okay? All right, I'm going to turn it back to Andrew, and again, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Now we're going to go into new services for the 24-25 school year for the Allentown School District's students. There will be a morning and afternoon shuttle for Central Elementary Stream Academy, pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade transportation for the Dual Language Immersion Academy, Early Learning Center transportation, and an elementary pilot program, which we will get into in a few slides. Also new for 24-25, charter school students in grades 6 through grade 12 will receive the same service as secondary Allentown School District students. Roberto Clemente, Middle and High, Executive Education Charter School, Lincoln Leadership Charter School will now be using Lanta. We will have IDs that will say Allentown School District with our logo, transportation ID that will be given to these students so that they can use Lanta. Lanta service is funded by the Allentown School District. Transportation remains the same for charter school students attending school outside of the school district, and we will be extending transportation services provided to secondary non-pub students outside the district boundaries.
Can I add one thing, please, Andrew? The other advantage to the Lanta is it is a 12-month, 24 hours per day, 7 days per week service. So children can use that service on Saturday, Sunday to go to work or any other activities they have. They can use it in the summer, so it is a 12-month service that'll be available for our children.
One of the questions that was brought up was a child that works at Dorney Park. Can they use that to get to Dorney Park in the summer? Yes, go work at Dorney Park. So they can use that Lanta to go to Dorney Park and do that, okay? The elementary pilot program. The goal is to improve student attendance at the elementary level. With this, approximately 240 elementary school students who live 1.0 miles or more from school will be transported for the 24-25 school year. It's a change. Our current walking distance for elementary schools is 1.5. We're doing a pilot that will be 1.0 in some schools. This will be accomplished by using existing fleet, and future expansion of the program is based on evaluation and feedback from families. So if we find that it's successful, families are using it, attendance rates are going up, of course, we're going to expand the program. With this, arrival and dismissal has to change, okay? So if I'm picking up more elementary kids, and remember, back in the beginning, our times are tight as it is, right? So in order to accomplish this, we are going to move the existing bell time structure will be modified. Due to the current schedule and transportation tiers, buses are late. So adjusting the elementary schedule 15 minutes later allows time to take traditional one-school runs and turn them into two-tier runs. So we have, in our current setup, we have about 20 to 25 buses that are just single-tier runs, okay? So again, kind of going with the state subsidy, going along with, if you take everything together and start putting it all together, we're paying for buses that we're not utilizing very much. So by moving this 15 minutes, we can take those buses that we currently have sitting in the lot and use them for our elementary school students by pushing the bell time 15 minutes later. Any questions on that? Because it's kind of a lot to kind of digest. Yes? Never mind? Okay. Okay, future initiatives for us in transportation. We're gonna request that PennDOT do a district-wide hazardous walking route study. This has not been done in at least 10 years, if not more. So we're gonna have PennDOT come in and look at all of our walking paths. Make sure that the streets that we have classified as hazardous are still hazardous, and if there are any additional that needed to be added to that list. We'll look to expand the elementary pilot program. And the last one, really going back to my roots in 2007 as a bus driver, means a lot to me. Build a true community partnership between the school district, STA, the drivers and monitors, and the students and families we service. As I get it from all points. As a bus driver, sometimes you feel like you are not heard, right? We want to connect everybody together. Everybody from the bus driver, what the student sees first thing in the morning, to the last thing they see. So we want to connect the schools, the drivers and monitors. We want them to talk more. We want them to share more information together. As far as a district, we want to put out what our expectations are and to make sure that across the board, if we do it for our teachers, we should do it for our bus drivers too. It should be across the board as far as expectations go. So we're making changes in that respect to make sure that we build that bridge. One of the things when I took this job, and I don't remember if Dr. Burks remembers me saying it, but I want to build a bridge between the drivers and the district. And somehow we've got to do that. And I do believe that we have the team to do that. To make sure that the drivers feel they're heard, making sure that the dispatchers, down to the mechanics, everyone feels heard and is a part of the Allentown School District. Because again, we are one. Oh, come on. We are one. There you go. So, how to reach us? We have an email address, asdtransportation@allentownsd.org, and a phone number, 484-765-4016. If you need to reach us in the transportation department, you will get me or Tina on the phone. And lastly, what we're going to do tonight, and I need some help of some of the executive director's extended cabinet. So one of the things I've heard since I've walked in the door is about customer service, right? Customer service in transportation. Not getting phone calls back, not being talked to, no one's picking up the phone, stuff like that. So what I wanted to do for an ending activity was to find out what customer service is to you, the community, so that me, Matt Wright, Jason, and Jason's staff that will be coming on can sit down and say, this is what the community expects. This is what they want. This is how we build that bridge, okay? So if we can kind of condense some tables a little bit, but we have some sticky notes. You're going to use 5 words or phrases to describe what quality customer service means to you. You're going to write that on the Post-it note, and then the executive directors, there's markers over there, markers and the table, the paper. Please pick a table and sit with them, and you're going to have a discussion for about 5 minutes or so of what customer service means to you. Yeah, we can.
I know there's a table back there. Had
We can pull it back together. If I can have 3 tables give their common themes of what customer service means to them. Tiffany's table.
Amarion goes to Central, and he's going to share for our group.
So I think our overall customer service will be respect.
Do you want to tell them the one other word that you came up with that I think is really important and part of respect?
Sure, it will be understanding.
All right, thank you.
What table is next? Tom.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. So I know we were only supposed to do 5, but we ended up with 9. And our number ones kept changing. But our number 1 is please don't break IEPs. Number 2 is empathy. We believe there's people need to be more empathetic. Number 3, be human. Number 4, be patient. Listen to parents and children. Be responsible. Please, no phone use while you're driving our children. Life is first. And lastly, but most importantly, go slow.
Okay, so this table, we were talking about 5 things. We kind of have condensed them. They are in no specific order: understanding, positivity, being empathetic, constant communication, and kindness. And Eli's going to tell us what he thinks is the number 1.
Oh, that here? I think constant communication is the number 1 in all this.
Smart young man.
Okay, my original table, I had like 3 young ladies. They did a fabulous job, but it was really cool because the one was like clean windows, clean seats, clean floors, clean bus. That was important to her. The other one, where the other young lady was talking about respect, responsibility, safe, and I didn't think anybody else was going to say it. She goes, they shouldn't be on their phones while they're driving. And it was like, it was really, really cool. My new group here is looking, they're five. Knowledge, courtesy, humanity, warmth, and immediacy. That responsiveness, the responsiveness to not only their needs, but to their child's needs and the situations that may or may not arise.
All right, Shai, you can do this, Shai.
So when we said customer service, we didn't understand if you guys were talking about customer service for the bus drivers that's actually driving the bus, or customer service for the people of STA. So we did phone and in-person customer service. So accessibility. I don't want to have to call y'all 500 times and you not answer the phone. Knowledgeable conversation. I shouldn't get told, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It's your job to know. Respectful and polite. Common sense, be respectful and be polite to us, please. For phone check-ins while on hold. I don't mind being on hold, but don't have me on hold 5 minutes listening to elevator music. Come back every minute or so, ma'am, are you still there? I'm still looking. Can you please hold another minute? Let me make the choice to hold or not. For in-person, happy face. Don't nobody want to go up to you with a little Scrooge face and have to ask you questions. Personable. We all human beings, so be personal to our situation. Problem solver. If we come with you with a problem, we expect you to be a problem solver, whether you're thinking inside the box or outside the box. Communicate, plan in a timely manner in all 3 major languages. And have some experience/respect for the children in this community. I'm very big on, if you work in a school district, you should have some sort of experience with any type of children, whether it's your own children, nieces and nephews, your little cousins, brothers and sisters. You can't have no experience with children to tell me how I should feel about my child or somebody else's child. And that's what we have.
You good? You good?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Oh, the main one?
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, communication for us.
They have 4 stars behind communication. They're not little stars, they're big, bold stars. Communication, most important. Anybody else?
No,
You say it in Spanish, we got a translator.
I think so the attention is very good thing. Attention. I need to be attention of the people. For
Attentive, waiting on the people, taking care
waiting
of
on
them.
the people, take care, and make sure that I can help the people, and it's my hand can help somebody else.
Okay. Spanish, you can speak Spanish, we got translators.
Yo diría que ser responsable, honesto, brindar. Bueno, me puse un poquito nervioso.
Yeah. What do you say? Oh,
No, estoy un poquito nervioso ahora mismo.
They can't hear you guys. You want to step up here?
No se preocupe, si quiere decirlo en español, dígalo en español. Dígalo en español.
Yo diría que el servicio al cliente tiene que ser muy responsable, tiene que tener, como mismo dijo la señora, personas que sepan en el área, por ejemplo, la comunicación, cómo va a expresarse, cómo va a hablar con responsabilidad.
Okay, déjeme decirle. So, good quality customer service is having people knowledgeable in the area of expertise and also being able to communicate. Comunicarse, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Knowing how to communicate with others. ¿Algo más?
No tengo apuntado por ahí, ahora mismo se me...
Okay, well, good ones.
Thank you so much.
He has some more there. He said he has some more there.
The other items here, responsive again, respectful, acknowledgement, informative, honest, pleasant, and once again, attention. And there's one in here that I really like, good attitude. And I guess that's that happy face. Okay, and caring.
Good evening, everyone. We have establishing and maintaining relationship and professional trust. So how did we come here? We put down be friendly, positive, pleasant, kindness, respectful, honest, be heard, value, listening, listen to, leaving great impression, exceeding expectation, provide update, knowledge of your product.
Thank you so much. Did you guys go?
All right, we had a lot of the same overarching phrases and qualities,
there's things. Yeah. They have them again?
I only had one thing. It was consideration in general for the parents. Changes sometimes are done without taking in quantity or seeing the time that the parents need to plan ahead. I'm speaking mostly for the new changes in transportation. There's parents that might have to quit our jobs, including myself, because our kids now are in different transportation. We rely on the older kids to transport the little kids. And now we're sending them in different directions. I don't know. That's my point. I understand changes need to be done, but I need more of a timely manner to consider parents.
To me is the same. The communication has to be first. And I feel like us parents from charter schools, because that's the reason why I'm here, we have been failed with communication, with this change in transportation suddenly. And another thing that I complain is that there needs to be listening and understanding with a resolution. Like if it's the safety of our kids and all the kids are considered Allentown kids, even the charter ones, everyone needs to be included as an Allentown school district. No matter if it goes to a public school, a charter school, or whatever school it attends, it's still an Allentown school district kid. And we are always like being punished because our kids go to charter school. So lack of communication for parents in charter schools.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much, and we appreciate all the feedback. And I can tell it's very heartfelt. So we take that, and we appreciate that. And our commitment is to provide outstanding communication because it is one Allentown. So thank you. We appreciate that feedback, and thank you to everyone for the feedback. There is a tool I asked Andrew just to briefly talk about. The software package that we are purchasing has a new tool that we believe will help better communicate as well. So go ahead, Andrew.
One of the things that the reason I was attracted to the software that we're purchasing is because it does have a parent app that, let's say I'm just going to use Bus 101. Bus 101 is running 15 minutes late or got held up at the school. Either the school or the dispatchers can send out a quick text to those parents that'll notify them that bus is running 15 minutes late due to this, due to whatever the case may be, or it just is running 15 minutes late. So I think communication was a very big thing, and I've heard a lot about that over my time here. So we're hoping that with the app, that if we can send out those notifications that a bus is running late at the time it's happening to those parents, there will be a lot less phone calls, a lot less worried parents. So, again, that is the goal at the end of the day, is better communication. So the app will help with that. Other than that, anything else? Okay. I want to thank you. I know, sorry. Today, 7 days a week for 365 days. It's on the top though, so it doesn't affect anything in the bus. Like the kids, yeah, it's just on the top, and it's a small little beacon light like that, and it's used for identification, especially in foggy weather, rainy weather, things like that. So you, as a driver, other motorists see that there's something you are coming up to that's different, right? Because we talk about, you know, kids, cars running the reds all the time, right? So this is another tool, and it's a small little strobe light that sits on top of the bus. And you have to be away from the bus and actually to really see it.
The only other thing I'll add for the families who are here from non-public and charter school parents, you're familiar with the form you had to complete to request transportation. That form will still be shared with you from your school to be completed for transportation services. That's a requirement that we have from the Pennsylvania Auditor General, actually, to make sure those forms are completed for transportation services as well. Do you have, Dr. Burks has comments, or any other questions, please?
If not, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Burks for.
Please.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry? We have monitors on the special needs buses that require the students that have IEPs that have it in their IEPs, yeah.
Good question, thank you. Okay. Gotcha, thank you. Good question. Okay. Dr. Burks? Okay.
Let's give a round of applause for the team, the transportation team, as well as to all of you for your participation and feedback. And I just want to make sure I clarify a few statements because I don't want people to walk away with this. One, if students are eligible for transportation and they're at the secondary level, they will be provided a Lanta bus pass. So what I don't want to go out is like there's 10,000 potential high school, middle and high school, more students, and then we're gonna give out a Lanta bus pass to everyone. So if they are eligible, you have to fill out a form, and the criteria that's been set, we will examine and see if your child is eligible for transportation. Additionally, I want to say, and something was raised about communication as it relates to this decision. We talked to all the chief executive officers for each of the charter schools, so they were aware that this change was being made. We also shared when they had an option to contract SDA, First Student, whoever they'd like to add additional transportation services. So, and we wanted to tell you earlier this year, so there'll be some planning. And then anyone who has we have plenty of jobs within the Allentown School District. So if there's, and I don't mean that facetiously, because we don't want to have people not have jobs. So that this decision, we had to look like the overall structure of how we efficiently run operations for everyone. And so if you have a specific need, I have many members of my team. I'm going to ask that Mr. Sickett and Ms. Polick talk to the families here that may be experiencing some challenges with transportation, just getting more of a personal connection. I would appreciate that. So I want to thank you tonight for coming. There'll be more discussions. And if you're not an Allentown School District family, we post a lot of things on our Facebook page, Instagram. We've launched our new website, so we will have updates if you're not directly receiving information from your school. We will also meet quarterly. In the beginning of the school year, we'll meet every week with the charter schools providers to make sure that we're working in concert together so that we strengthen our overall communications and efficiencies for all students. And then we will meet quarterly, because with any new effort, we're in this business of continuous improvement. So when we come out, and I'm glad that Mr. Andrew said this, that bus may not be on time that first day of school. It might be 5 minutes late. We're hoping it's not. However, we know that nothing's always a perfect science all the time, but our aim is to get students, of course, safely to school, as well as quickly, efficiently as possible. And again, I want to thank all our friends, our new partners, STA, all of our leaders, everyone here and families. And like I said, we want to be in better service to you. So thank you. Have a fantastic evening. Everyone who planned this event, there is some pizza, I think Ms. Gina said. We're practicing all this hygiene and all that kind of stuff so that it's safe to eat. The pizza, Ms. Gina is our director of food and nutrition services, so she knows how to do this the correct way so no one, gets sick or anything like that. So have a fantastic night. Mr. Singh is also here, anyone who wants a job with the district, and actually the STA team is here. They're willing to take your application back there. They got a whole crew back there. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening. And thank you.
One thing. Stand up. Everyone stand up real quick.
Just asking that everyone please stand.
Sorry. Look,
Please stand.
if you look under chairs, there will be 10 buses. I have my mic on. 10 buses. You get a special prize. So look under, see if you get a tag that is a bus, and it'll say winner on it. Look around. Look around. If you have a sticker under your bus, come see me, please. Come see me, please.